every hire, it's either making your culture stronger or weaker.
If you haven't done the work of the clarity of your own vision and your own leadership and your own core values and your own culture, you have no chance of hiring for that, of training toward that, of leading toward that, because you've never established it.
How clear are you? Truly, do you take the time? Do you put the hard work into it? Because it's kind of painful, it's uncomfortable, it's unsettling. Again, one of the biggest, if not the biggest leadership challenges is this very much the topic.
Welcome back to another episode, and it's exciting to be with you because I've got a great friend who is, like me, gets very passionate about things, and I love that. It's my friend Brock Meadows, and Brock, welcome. So good to see you. Brock is an entrepreneur and has hands in many different things, and probably more of an unconventional type of business guy. And you've probably seen our sponsor. Hopefully you've tried some of their amazing chocolates. We got some here on the table, but Dolce Sweets. He's one of the co-founders of Dolce Sweets, and but a man that is certainly a student of leadership, and whether it's working with the lowest level employee, kind of somebody new into a business, as well as leading leaders and leading kids and coaching and just all kind of things. It's those are all different facets of leadership that I feel like you've been involved in your career and the stuff that you're doing. So I think you're going to bring some great insight today.
Well, I hope so, but thank you very much for doing what you've done. I've enjoyed every episode, and it's cool to be here.
Yeah, well, we're here at Coastline Coffee up in southern Delaware, and they've got a great little shop here. And just very so cool. You aren't required to drink coffee if you're on the podcast. Brock, not a coffee drinker, and that's okay. He's drinking water.
I do. I just maybe already had some, and I didn't want to be too
amped up. That's fair.
Okay.
So that's good. I love that. So as kind of we've been doing on the show, we're talking about aspects of leadership or character qualities that maybe you're finding are needed for business, just for life, for leadership, for young leaders, for growing leaders, for seasoned leaders. And I know you've put a lot of thought into that just in your daily work in the different businesses that you've been in. So maybe you can just start out sharing a little bit about some of your thoughts on leaderships or some important character traits for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it has been unconventional, not traditional at all path that I've taken. And again, I say it from the very beginning, this has just been my experience. Everyone has different experiences. That's what makes business so challenging. What I find interesting, Bill, from the very get-go, that business or success in business isn't really that complicated, but the majority of businesses that I know about, and I've been involved with, deal with people. And people, all of us, end up making it complicated. Yes. So it's from that perspective of being in the fitness and human performance field, which has been predominantly where I've been, to now with Dolce Sweets and a chocolate company, and the other end of the spectrum that provides. The great similarity is, again, the mission work, the value that I place upon it, the purpose of helping other people, working with people in an area of life that matters a great deal, I think. So those similarities, and having to try to build and work with a team of people that align with that has been, honestly, is, in my opinion, the greatest leadership challenge in business is, not only attracting, but hiring, then developing and keeping the right kind of people for you, and developing a system, if you will, or process through your clarity of core values to weed the wrong ones out. So I think it's one of the biggest things is I would share with my leadership challenges and growth is trying to be as clear as possible, and who you are, what you do, who you serve, and why you do it. And once you can do that, if you do that, then you have a far more likelihood of success of finding the right people, attracting the right people, and then obviously that goes into every step of how you build, you develop, you grow people in that way. So
Do you find, because we talked about entry-level leaders, do you, or entry-level employees, and the hope is that you find those diamonds in the rough, those people that want to even be a leader just in their shift or among their peers, they don't have to be a manager thing. Do you find because they're just trying to get a job, they don't even know that they align with your core values? Even if you present those, they're just trying to get hired, and so you don't really find out where they're at on that spectrum until they're actually working for you.
No, gosh, that's very true. And again, one of the biggest, if not the biggest leadership challenge is this very much the topic. And how do you, even at entry level, develop from the actual, job description to the ad of wanting to attract, I should say, that's the first thing.
Yeah.
But any of that, to precede it, you've got to then have clarity. And I will say this, clarity, is the precursor to success.
Yeah.
It precedes success.
Yeah.
And we all know this, we've heard it, but then I would challenge, the listeners and anybody that is in business or wants to develop and grow, how clear are you? Truly, do you take the time, do you put the hard work into it? Because it's kind of painful, it's uncomfortable, it's unsettling. To get very clear in what I think is the most important thing is your values. But I would say, in the other way of looking at it, if lack of clarity, that causes disruption. It causes confusion. It invites complacency.
Yeah.
It can welcome comfort. And it can limit or stifle creativity. So if you think about all those things, there was a lot of C's there, but I'm going to say,
that was good. That was
clarity, it's at the forefront of it all. So in the art of first principles and working backwards to where you want to go with the end in mind, I think it foundationally, and again, I'm learning this through many bumps and bruises and trying to always keep that at the forefront still today with events I'm dealing with right now, is being clear and bringing that clarity back in almost everything you do. And I think that the process of developing and identifying those core values of any business, now again, it's a word that's thrown out there.
Right.
Many people do it halfway or like that it's up in the hallway, but we just keep passing by. So I encourage you, if you're not willing to endure the pain of continuing to keep that at the forefront and reminding your team and you yourself being guided by it, you might not even bother doing it. But if you do understand the value that it is and how much pain it will save you from, what I'm saying that is that even the entry-level person, if I'm very clear on who we are, why we're here, and then I can begin to develop a set of questions in my interview, the way the interview process can go. I've even developed that over time about there's a 3x3x3 rule of how you interview somebody. Well, narrow it down to 3 candidates, have no less than 3 interviews in 3 different environments, with hopefully at least utilizing and including 3 of your team members.
Yeah.
So if you could do that, because what you just said is so true. I don't know who you are. You're going to only give me that best, and it's a 30-minute, 40-minute, or 1 interview.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I need a position. I have guilty of this as charged.
Oh, sure.
I need you to fill it. And it's so detrimental to it. If you don't have, every leader understands culture, or understands the value of it. You hear the word.
Yeah.
But if you don't get so clear, and you can't build a clear culture that's so clear and so compelling to draw the right people towards it and weed out the wrong ones, it's going to cause you a great deal of headache, heartache, pain, and loss later on. And it'll reveal itself at some point in time. So again, I can't say enough about number 1 to myself. It's clarity in your mission, in your purpose, and from that, developing your core values that are the deeply ingrained principles that guide all of your company's actions. They truly, your core values should be so clear, so crystal, so strong that they are your cultural cornerstones.
And it really sounds like in that clarity piece, if you haven't done the work of the clarity of your own vision and your own leadership and your own core values and your own culture, you have no chance of hiring for that, of training toward that, of leading toward that, because you've never established it.
Absolutely, and painfully I'm shaking my head. Because you're
I think
exactly
we've all
right.
been there.
It seems so simple, but I'm like, why didn't I know that and really, wholeheartedly buy into that big need that it is.
Yeah.
So I just say it from, hopefully it comes through from some pain in my experience that I do yourself that favor and get real. And again, if you're a small business owner and or a leader in a large company. I mean, in the team you're leading, it's the same requirement and same benefit and same need, and it's fair to anyone you're looking to bring on.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I don't say that to weed the wrong ones out like they're bad people.
Yeah.
They're just not the right people for your, team or your business. And the smaller your business is, and the smaller your team, it's out of respect and healthy respect and intention for those that are already on your team.
Yeah.
Because with every hire, it's either making your culture stronger or weaker. And it only takes one wrong kind of choice. Again, they're not bad people. They just are not aligned with your values.
Yeah. They need to find a home that's right for them.
Yes.
And fits their values and the values of another company. And,
Absolutely. Yeah.
oh, that's powerful.
And in values, again, values drive our behavior.
Yeah.
So what I guess I would say, building that where we're talking about the clarity of it. So keep building on where that is, from who you are, what your company does, who it serves, what's your ideal customer. All these things, are built on your clarity of purpose, product, or service.
Yeah.
Hey, you! Yes, you. That's who I'm talking to. When is the last time you thanked that coworker, that assistant, that parent, that teacher, that mentor, that person that changed the trajectory of your career? Or that person that helps you get things done every day, the one that has saved you? Maybe it's a parent, maybe it's a spouse, maybe it's one of your kids, but you need to say thank you. Well, give them a gift that they not only deserve, but a gift that they are going to love, and that is from my friends, Dolce Sweets. Their espresso chocolate, my personal favorite here at Brewing Better Leaders, but they have chocolate, they've got amazing, amazing gifts. You are going to be pleased, and more importantly, the person that you get the gift for is going to know that you care about them because you got a gift from Dolce Sweets. And for my viewers, my listeners, 15% off when you use the code BREW. 15% off, use the code BREW at Dolce Sweets, DULCI. I promise you, they will be thrilled. You can thank me later.
You can't put in somebody, and it's next to impossible. If it is, I would love to talk with you how you teach and train that.
Yeah,
'Cause it is
sure.
just who it is. So it's a character over skills. Because I can teach the skills, the competency of things. Of course, they have to be competent in what your position is.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
honestly, if you think about it, what should you rather have? I got to have someone who aligns with our core values and has the character, than worry about hiring the most brilliant and talented.
Yes, absolutely.
Because the ones that are that can, but they don't have your character, that can be a liability to your company and
Very
to
well
your
said.
culture and to your
Oh,
team.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I'd rather find ones with the heart that aligns to what we're doing than those that maybe are the best on paper.
Yeah, I read something on hiring. I think it was even in the last 2 weeks, and they talked about train the skills, but hire for that character, because you will regret that in the end.
Yes.
Because a lot of that character stuff, not to say it can't be taught, but a lot of that is just who you are. And if that's not who you are, you can't fake that very long.
Nature, nurture kind of thing. Right? How much of it's that? And you're like, I
exactly.
don't know. There's a little bit of the nurture, but
and you don't want to suggest people can't or won't change, because obviously you hope that people do, and sometimes you don't have certain character qualities because they haven't been modeled for you. You haven't seen them, and you want to do that. But again, when somebody's left alone and they're running a portion of your business, or they're in your organization, you need to know that they're going to model that same thing, and people are going to get that every time they interact with you and your company. And
so you're exactly right, and that's exactly what the thought I was having now was that it's rather than talent, I'd rather hire for heart, desire, teachability.
oh,
the way you said.
Yeah.
And a spine, a little bit of really. I know it sounds, and resiliency. I got to be able to adapt. I got to lean in and want to say that hey, I'm not the smartest person in the room. I don't know it all. There's some things I need to learn. I want to learn. So you have to have that kind of spirit.
Yeah.
But I think the heart, the desire, and the teachability over talent is something. Again, I just from experience have had to learn the hard way often. And if it's the right person that fits your culture and agrees with and values your core values, then the likelihood is it's going to be more successful than not. Yeah. But there's a thing there too that with hiring, this is something of a second. I was reading this and wanting to talk with you that perspective helps a lot to not think it's like we're so horrible. But I read that 75% now is a statistic of all hires fail.
Oh my goodness.
So you're like, what? So even on that what I just said,
don't tell me that,
75% fail. And in a business, and again, small or large, middle, medium, 65 to 80% of that could cost is in your operating cost expense.
Yeah.
You know, think about the hire. I've had to try to figure this out, give it some time, wait for it, and then it not be the right person, then to do it all again, that kind of thing. So more to the point of take the time, and a lot of it's needed to really get deep into who you are, who you're looking for, and what you're all about.
Yeah.
Again, that's what we've done with Dolce Sweets. That's why it's kind of, people say out of left field from what my experience in my previous businesses and other ones that I'm involved with, but it comes back to, you know, what's most important, what's the purpose, what's the mission behind it. And with this business, it's born out of the other ones that I maybe missed some of these things on, and I'm hoping that we get this one right in this area.
Oh, that's good. It's interesting that, like, sometimes as we talk about, you know, if you're a small business owner or you're hiring for a position and you don't get a good candidate pool, and you're like, well, we need a person, and you hire that wrong person, that may still be detrimental to you, even if you know, have to just, okay, we got to start this over again. We got to try again, because if 75%, and you hire somebody that you're almost certain is going to fail, man, that may be worse than not hiring at all.
Absolutely. That's such a hard position to be in.
Yeah.
Very hard and painful, because yes, you end up settling.
Yeah.
And again, not fair to them or you, and it costs again, business is already difficult with all the things that you have to factor in and be on the day, you know, involved in. So if you have, again, a person around, you know, even the right person in the wrong seat kind of stuff. So I don't mean, again, not that they're bad, but the wrong person for your business, it's going to take a ton of calorie burn away from where you should be putting your time and attention and effort at. And that is itself, again, even just owner or leader to that one person, let alone the other members of the team and how it's affecting them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just not a good situation. So when you are even further taking this in the next step of wanting to attract and hire, develop and keep the right people, you got to understand something else too. And although that 75% is kind of daunting, yes, if you know this further, that those top achievers, those A-team players, you may call them, they're looking for a winning team. They're looking for other achievers to work with.
For sure.
Right? They want to be a part of something like that. And if you bring someone, even entry level, that's not, you know, silly me, Bill, I hired people and I thought they would want to do a good job. Right? Sometimes it's not that you think, I mean, I'm serious, and you would think that, well, not that they have to completely take it on like an owner,
right?
Although eventually that's what you would like to, but entry level, but at least that you would have pride, respect. I would care for my work. But that's not always the case. And to that point of what you asked, you got to fill a spot, but what do? You're absolutely right. It's better to have to endure some pain of not hiring at all and have a gap than to bring the wrong type of person in there. And to that point of they're looking for other people, so that one bad hire that's not on that same, you know, core value belief system can really then be a detriment to the ones you really did have in the right place, because it can weigh on them pretty heavy. And start to pull things down. So people, and then, you know, another thing they want is a challenge, a sacred mission. This is what I'm all about, and everything I'm choosing to do. Something more than myself, something greater than myself, something to understand that I can't achieve without others around me. So no one's better than the other. We've all got a part to play. And that, if you keep that at the forefront, you're more likely again to attract and hopefully then hire and develop and keep the right kind of people that I think we're all looking for. The other things are opportunity, right? They want that opportunity, not even just growth, but for greater contribution.
Oh, yeah.
So if you have that in what you do and how you do it. And then, you know, you've got then growth from the personal and professional development, that teachability. I want someone that wants to learn and grow and wants to, you know, bring something more to the table. They're prepared for meetings, for example. They come to contribute. They don't want to just talk about problems. They want to offer solutions. And then what was interesting about that is that in everything you look at, always of these, 4, 5, 6 things, money's always like one of the, it doesn't creep in until number 5 or 6.
Yes.
So it's identity first and pay last.
Wow.
Which I'm like, okay. So I hope this helps, that it helping me that how I can go back to the first thing and organize from my marketing ad of it wanting to hire a candidate for my job posting.
Right.
To then the interview process and the layers that it should have, because I'm sure we've all made the mistake, but I've done it way too much. We've been one shot too quick, and then we well, let's see what happens in a probational period or whatever. Yeah. But again, it's and I start to recognize that probational period was more out of me and settling and potentially hurt my team members that I really liked and of course value greatly, and they have proven to be the right people, that what it could do to them as well in that process. So it's hopefully helpful.
Yeah, I love there because we've kind of unpacked two different sides where you have, kind of as the more senior leader, it's, you've got to have the clarity on that side, but then as the young up and coming leader, as you're trying to do something, it's like, I've got to get clarity again for myself and go, am I with companies that have a sacred mission, that have opportunity, that have, that align, that hire for culture? Do I want to be a part of all this? Or how do I align myself with an organization that has those things for me? And so that's where that marriage is perfect, where you've got a company or an individual that's developed that structure well, and then you're coming in and going, man, I'm going to fit into this really well because this is a place for me to have a home and grow and thrive and learn and be teachable. And man, it's just those are the marriages where I think people just explode.
Yeah, and why does it seem not to be so obvious and prevalent in anything we do? And I think it requires a continual and consistent, right? Success is, only develop the consistency. So with the clarity and how important I think that we're talking about it, I feel that it is. I need to do better myself of not only as an individual, but as a leader to keep bringing that up. Again, you're talking about your values, keep them out in the front. It's going to take a long time, many times, and if you think you've said it enough, you haven't, probably, kind of thing.
Yes,
right?
That's well said.
Yeah, and I believe in all of us here, to be happy, to be successful, it's ultimately, while we may first think it's money, sometimes what I just talked about, it's not. Yeah. Even if you're honest with yourself. It's, I want to wake up in the morning and feel like I'm making a difference. I'm contributing to something beyond myself. Yeah. I'm fulfilling the calling that's been placed upon me, and the good Lord has provided me with my individual talents and skills. And I'm in a place and environment that not only values them, but allows me to utilize them and to develop them. I mean, ultimately, that's what I think that anybody's looking for. So,
man. Cool. That's fantastic. Well, Brock, I appreciate it. The time has flown, man, and I feel like we got some good nuggets here. Hopefully people are encouraged by that and can find a little more clarity in the things that they're doing and how they're pushing forward into the future. So I appreciate your time and the unique insight that you bring very much.
Well, yeah, thank you, man. It's all a pleasure. I hope it is helpful to people.
Yeah, and if you have not been to Dolce Sweets, their website, make sure you go there. By the way, if on there, the Brock Bites. This is who they're named after. This is the guy. One of the finest mixtures of caramel and chocolate I've ever had in my life. So I highly recommend those. But we're so thankful you're watching and sticking with the podcast here. Do all the things that help this grow, like, subscribe, share, whatever you can do. We are grateful and thank you. And have a wonderful week.